Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another Optc video, and in today's video, we're hopping into the Navy's Party Night Blizzard event, but in particularly the ambush event that can proc if you are doing the 40 stamina event of this particular challenge. Now, I don't know what is going on with my game, but trying to get this ambush to pop is incredibly annoying. Now, I do really want to apologize that this video is coming out so late. The real world stuff, I've got a bit of stuff going on in the real world. With that, in combination with work, Anzac Day, and the ambush not freaking popping for me, made this video just super delayed. And I do apologize for that, but I do thank you guys for watching, as always. And if you do enjoy, make sure to smash the like button for me. And if you're not new to the channel, hit the big red subscribe button too. But in today's video, I do have 5 teams for you guys. So the first team is utilizing the Halloween slashers and utilizing Halloween Law as our captain, as well as Halloween Mihawk as our friend captain. Their Law is our orb booster, as well as Mihawk being our attack booster. With this particular piece of content, there's like 15 turns of paralysis on the final stage, like 6 turns of bind, about 14 turns of gloom. It's just built for obviously the V2 waifus. So this team actually functioned quite well, but it's not the best team that you will see in this particular video. We do have Rayleigh here. He removes bind, despair, paralysis. Iron's great for removing damage reduction and defense up, as well as Otama being able to remove chain lock, paralysis, and giving us a bit of healing. And then finally we have Croc. He can give us block orb manipulation, as well as more despair and paralysis removal. On this team we are using the Aura Jackson, as we do have a full free spirit slasher team, as there are remove special effects on this piece of content as well. So this team worked very well. Unfortunately, it didn't work it the way I wanted it to, but it still managed to get the job done. The next team, however, is the Double Roger team, and this team just flew through this particular piece of content. Rogers, it's absolutely phenomenal. He is just an incredible captain. We then have Buggy for bind, despair, paralysis removal. We've got V3 Law as a chain locker and an orb booster. Rayleigh once again for his bind, despair, paralysis removal of 7 turns, which is great. And then finally we have Bobbins, as Bobbins can remove defensive effects. Now on this particular team we are using Zoro as a support. He's a slasher color affinity booster, as you cannot use color affinity on the final stage. And we have Corazon on our Law. With this particular team too, I totally forgot to mention that all of the supports really don't matter. I do have Whitey Bay on Rayleigh, but it really doesn't matter at all. You could even use Corazon on Law, but it just didn't matter in the end, as this team just had enough utility with the specials. On the next team, we are using double BigMom. BigMom's an attack and an orb booster, 5 times captain. She's very good, and she's actually boosted in this event, so you can get more drops, as well as Queen being boosted as well. Their stats are a little bit higher, as well as just being able to get more points for the Chopper Man missions. Queen can remove defensive effects, which is great, besides Threshold, as well as a chain lock. We have Law here to remove bind, despair, paralysis. We've got Nami and Robin. They can remove 10 turns of paralysis as well. And then finally, we've got Chopper for chain lock, as well as paralysis and despair. The supports on this team, we do have Sweet Generals for despair removal. We have Corazon for bind, despair, paralysis removal. We've got this Frankie to drastically reduce defense, as you can do that on the final stage. And then we've got Sanji to give us a chain buff. So Big Mom actually worked really well. And in my opinion, I much prefer using Big Mom over Kaido. So there's that. So that was the Big Mom team. Let's move on to the next team. We are using my boy Shanks Crew, but we are using a friend V2 ViviBecca. The chain locking of Shanks Crew comes in absolute clutch, as well as being a quick unit for the final stage, as well as giving attack boosts throughout the run. We then have Chopper. He can remove bind, despair, and paralysis, as well as having the Straw Hats to remove 2 turns of that as well. We've got Law on this particular team. He's our orb booster, as this team is built around cerebral based units. And then we have the Corazon support once again. Then we've got Robin here. Robin can remove the defensive effects, as well as using the Bardo support to remove even more paralysis. Then we've got Pudding finally. Pudding can remove bind, despair, paralysis as well by 4 turns. And then with the Margaret special, she can get an orb on the final stage and then give that orb to our entire team. And with Shanks Crew's amazing captain ability and the ViviBecca dual form, being able to make those orbs matching. So the Shanks Crew team worked really well. As you guys know, I'm always clearing content with my boy Shanks Crew. And with the help of ViviBecca, he managed to get it done quite comfortably. The final team, however, was the team of the day. Unfortunately, I stuffed the run-up, but like I said, just like getting this friggin' ambush to pop was so damn annoying that I just didn't want to run it again. Double ViviBecca, they were just literally built for this. That art, like ink effects, actually really cool. Their special can remove blind and special blind, but the blind's really what they're here for, as well as the attack and the orb boost. This team is built around cerebrals, so it works really well. We have Leo. He can remove the chain multiplier, the lock, He does some other stuff, but he's basically here for the lock, as well as Neptune removing the damage reduction and giving color affinity for 3 turns, which means we can carry it into the final stage, provided you do the run properly, not like me. Next, we've got Django and Kuro. They can remove Despair, as well as change block, empty T&D, and all those orbs into matching. And finally, with Shirahoshi Mancherry, we can actually remove all of the paralysis, as well as remove 7 turns of Despair and Burn. They can also remove special effects, which is very, very handy as well. With their overheal mechanic, it makes it very, very safe. And as you'll see in my particular run, even though I stuff it up, I still managed to get it done quite comfortably. So they're the teams. Once again, I do apologize. This video is so delayed. But like I said, I hope you guys enjoy. Let's hop into the teams. Alright, so for team number 1, we are using the Halloween slashes. So when I was actually putting this team together, I had a different, like, mental sort of state on how this was going to work. And totally forgot, because I actually get, you get despaired on this, Mihawk doesn't remove the paralysis. So nevertheless, the team actually still managed to work, as I did actually have a lot of paralysis removal on this particular team. We are using the Oro Jackson. It can remove paralysis as well. Croc's great at removing paralysis. Same with Otama, as well as Rayleigh. So the team actually still managed to function. It's not the greatest team you're going to see in this video, but it was a lot of fun using the Halloween slashes. So once we hit stage 4, we come up against Smoke and Tashigi. They put up 4 turns of damage reduction, and Tashigi gives us a full board of either Bomb, Recovery, G, T&D, or Block Orb. So this is where the double special of Iron comes in massive clutch, as we can remove all of the damage reduction, and then we can just focus on taking on Tashigi. Now, I actually got pretty lucky with my orbs here, so I actually managed to take her out in one go. Don't stress though, if you don't take her out in one go, all she does is put up resilience, and with Law as our captain, he can actually do reflection damage. Even though it's only 1 damage, it can still get through that resilience, as Tashigi's only left with 1 HP. Once Tashigi's dead on the second turn, Smoker's actually going to stun our middle row. So we're actually going to pass a turn here. Let Smoker hit us again. That way we can get our units back. Once we do get our units back after the stun, we can actually use the Mihawk and the Law special. That way we can get an attack boost and an orb boost for this particular stage, and we can actually carry it into the next stage. So it works really, really well. We just need to make sure that we do hit 3 of our perfects, and depending on your actual orb luck is dependent on how well this turn is going to actually go. So you can actually use the turn before against Smoker to sort of farm up some orbs, or get rid of any block orbs if you have any. Because the Oro Jackson makes T&D and recovery orbs, it helps us out a lot on this particular fight. On the final stage, we come up against Hina. Hina turns into a strength unit. She gives us 15 turns of Gloon, 15 turns of paralysis, and I think it's something like 7 turns of bind. It might be less. I don't know if I have max sockets on this particular team in terms of bind sockets. But basically, with the special of Otama, we can remove paralysis. Rayleigh can remove paralysis, despair, and bind. With Corazon, we can remove paralysis, bind, and despair on our Law. And with the Otama special, we can actually remove the chain lock. Now, on this stage, Hina actually gives us 3 turns of a 1.1 times chain lock. So utilizing Otama is really, really handy, as not only does she remove paralysis, she's a free spirit, and she can remove that chain lock. We do get removed sound effects or special effects as well, so utilizing the Oro Jackson helps out a lot. And as you guys can see, this team has the damage, and we managed to take out Hina. Moving on to the next team now, we have the double Goldie Roger team. Now, Roger actually claps this. He moved through this ridiculously fast, and I didn't actually even bring Odin to help with orbs. I'm actually using V3 Law here, as that way we can actually use the Corazon support. The big thing about this content is there is the damage reduction on stage 4, but the big thing is getting around all that paralysis. Despair doesn't matter with Roger, because he can remove that, but also that small amount of bind we get. On turn 4, once again, we come up against Tashigi and Smoker. They have the damage reduction, so we can use Bobbins special there to remove that. Bobbins is going to give us some orbs, but it doesn't really matter, because we are going to use the super typing of our Roger. Then we can use our Law special for a 2-turn chain lock, which is awesome. And then we can extend the orb buff into a 3-turn orb buff, as well as get a 3 times attack boost with Roger. And as you guys will see here, literally we just absolutely decimate this particular stage. Now, the good thing about using Law on this particular fight is it's a 2-turn chain lock. So when we move into the next turn, Hina normally gives us a 1.1 times chain lock. But with Law, we don't have to worry about that, as because we have 2 turns of a chain lock, it actually gets negated. She can't give us that buff, as we already have that buff. She turns into a strength unit, and then she gives us all of that bind, Paralysis, and Despair. Now, this was the first time I actually completed it with the Roger team, so that's why we had to sit through that. So it's 7 turns of bind. With all of our units here, we can use the support of Corazon on our Lord to remove 2 turns of all of those nasty effects. We have Color Affinity with our support of Zoro, as we cannot use Color Affinity on this final stage. We have Buggy to give us a full board of orbs, remove some more bind, despair, and paralysis. Then we can use the Rayleigh special to remove the rest of it. We can then use our Roger special to extend that orb buff, as well as getting a 3 times attack boost. And with that, utilizing the Aura Jackson to just get through the remove special effects, we can easily take out Hina. So the Roger team works really, really well. It just takes a couple of hefty supports. So moving on to the next team now, we are utilizing a double BigMom team. Now, with this content, there are boosted units, and BigMom and vs Kaido, as well as the BigMom vs Kaido batch, are actually all boosted, which means that not only are their stats increased, but they actually give more points. There is like an event points to basically get Chopper Man missions. So BigMom vs Kaido, and the BigMom vs Kaido batch are actually boosted, as well as a whole bunch of other Kazuna units. Moving on to stage 4 against Tashigi and Smoker now, we do get that Orb Royal. I got actually fairly unlucky with my orbs. We managed to pick up a Bomb Orb as well as a Block Orb, but we can actually use Queen here to remove the damage reduction and get a Chain Lock, and then we can use one of Big Mom's specials to turn any of those TND or Block Orbs into Recovery. With the Chain Lock and that massive attack buff that Big Mom can provide, as well as having just like a stupidly high Captain Multiplier, we can actually decimate this particular stage. We have no issues getting through it whatsoever, and we can actually move on to the following stage with the carryover effect of the Orb buff that Big Mom can provide. Now, on turn 1, I'm pretty sure I switch with my Nami and Robin, and that way I can actually stockpile all of those recovery orbs that Queen gives us on turn 1. So we are going to utilize that switch ability to give ourselves a full board of orbs on this final stage. But on this stage, we do have the support of Corazon once again. We do have the support of the Sweet 3 on our Big Mom to remove some despair. Then with the special of Law, we can remove 5 turns of all of those nasty defects. And then with this switch ability of Nami and Robin, as you can see, we can get a full board of recovery orbs, as well as setting the defense drastically low with the support of Frankie. Finally, we can finish it off with Chopper. Chopper removes the Chain Lock as well as the rest of the despair, and with the support of Sanji, we can actually get a chain boost. Now, we do have the Zunisha on this particular team, so we can hit perfects easier, as the remove special effects is quite annoying to get around. And just remember that Lord actually doesn't get boosted by the ship, so you do want to attack with him second after Nami and Robin, as they aren't getting a captain buff at all. And as you can see, with this particular team, we just have the damage. Easy peasy. Big Mom's just, man, she's so good. Moving on to the next team now, we are using a full Cerebral team with my boy Shanks Crew. Now, if you guys didn't summon for the V2 waifus, understandably, I am using a friend ViviBecca V2 on this particular team. This particular piece of content was built for the new batch and the new units, and ViviBecca as a captain works very, very well, as she can get up to like a 5.2 times multiplier for Cerebrals and Strikers, as she has that color affinity effect built into her captain. Now, this entire team is Cerebral based, which means we can use the Zunisha ship, which is awesome, and we can actually use them as a friend captain. Moving into stage 4 against Tashigi and Smoker now, they are going to give us a full board of either G, Bomb, Empty, Recovery, or Block Orbs. They have 4 turns of damage reduction, and we can easily remove that with the Robin special. Now, I actually got fairly unlucky here, and my Robin got no orb. I mean, it is better than like Block Orbs, but it's still whatever. Now, and I actually stuffed this switch ability up as well. I actually was meant to switch with ViviBecca before I switched with Shanks Crew, but I just sort of said stuff it. The idea of this particular turn is to actually just make sure that we take out Tashigi, and as you can see, even without a matching orb, ViviBecca can actually just wipe Tashigi easy peasy. The idea of taking Tashigi out and then focusing on Smoker on the next turn is because we definitely do not want to have a block orb on our Pudding. So as you can see, Pudding actually got a block orb, so if we didn't take this turn on Smoker, we'd have a bit of an issue on the next stage, as Pudding would give us a full board of block orbs, which we definitely do not want. We are going to pass a turn here on Smoker as he stuns our middle row, and then we can take him out on the second turn. Or the third turn, I guess. On the third turn, I'm going to put that in quotations, we're going to switch with Shanks Crew to give ourselves a cheeky little attack boost, and then we can actually use the Shanks Crew special. Now, Shanks Crew is going to give us a 3.5 times chain multiplier, or chain lock, which is very, very handy for 3 turns, as that way we don't have to worry about getting Hina's 1.1 times chain lock. I did really want to try and save that recovery orb on Pudding, but we just missed out on having the damage, so we did need to attack with her as well. Once Smoker dies, he gives us the remove special effects, and then we can move on to the final stage against Hina. Against Hina, she turns into that strength unit. She normally gives us a chain lock, and then she gives us all that nasty effects. Oh, okay, it's 14 turns of Gloom. I thought it was 15 turns. That's a little bit weird. So we do have the support of Corazon, we do have the support of Bardo, we do have the support of the Straw Hats, and we have the support of Margaret. So a lot of supports on this particular team, as there are a lot of things we need to get around. So for first, we are going to use the Law special. Law is just a little bit of a higher orb boost than what Vivi and Rebecca can supply. Pudding can remove 5 turns of Bind and Despair and Paralysis. So can Chopper. Pudding's going to give us a full board of orbs, as she gets that quick orb through the support effect of Margaret. And then just because we have so many goddamn quick units here, we can just absolutely decimate our girl Hina. So Shanks Crew, my boy, still getting it done with a little bit of help from the new ViviBecca. And the final team of the video is going to be a double ViviBecca team. Now, I totally stuffed this run up, and this team still manages to get it done. So I was actually super impressed that I actually managed to get it done. I just thought this run was over, as I accidentally used the friend ViviBecca instead of my ViviBecca first. Very important that on this particular stage here, you use your ViviBecca and not the friend ViviBecca, mainly because your ViviBecca will actually get binded on the next turn, and you can't then use the special to remove the bind. So it's a little bit annoying, but nevertheless, on the Smoker and Tashigi stage, we are going to remove the damage reduction with the special of Neptune. He's going to give a 3 turns of color affinity as well, which we should be able to carry into the next stage. But again, as I mentioned, I did stuff this up. We do have basically a full Dex and quick team here. So with the switch abilities of our units, we can actually just switch into the characters that we need to be. And that way we can have the correct color affinity to take out the Smoker and the Tashigi on this particular stage. Now, if you do this correctly and you have the other, like the friend ViviBecca, not in their dual form, you can then use their special on this particular turn to remove the bind, as it's only 6 turns or 3 turns after sockets. And then you can actually use the Leo special to remove the chain lock. You can use the the Shirahoshi Mancherry special to remove all the paralysis, as well as 6 turns of the Gloom. And then you can finish it off with the Django and the, what's his name? The Django and Kuro special. Is that his name? Captain Kuro? I think that's his name. You can finish it off with their special, basically just to remove the rest of the bind. But because I did absolutely goof this, I am actually just going to take a few more turns. But as you can see, just with the overheal mechanic that Shirahoshi Mancherry can provide us, we actually don't have any issues here. We're just basically going to sit on this stage, attack with Leo, basically just get a bunch of stalling in until we can get rid of the chain lock. And, well, actually, I probably could have finished it on this particular stage right here. I just totally forgot that Leo actually removes the chain lock, so I just wanted to stall that out. But if you do this correctly, you should be able to burst this in one particular turn. I was just having so many goddamn issues trying to get this ambush to pop that I really, really did not want to keep running this content. So, once again, guys, I do really apologize that this video has come out quite late. Real life things got me a bit preoccupied, as well as this content being so arrogant with the whole ambush dropping. But I hope you guys enjoyed it anyway. If you did, make sure to go down there and belt the like button for me. And if you are new to the channel, consider hitting the big red subscribe button too. But guys, wherever you are in the beautiful world, make sure to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, I thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Lights!